Why do they test the patience of a man like me? A man with all the wealth, the charm, and the good looks. Julia, I won't be able to make it for dinner tonight. I have a meeting, I say, clamping the phone to my ear with the help of my shoulder while rummaging through a stack of papers, desperately looking for a specific document. Baby, are you sure? She asked, hoping I changed my mind. Yes, we'll have to take a rain check on this. She goes silent. Hello, Julia? You still there? Blake? Is there someone else? She asks finally. Of course not. Why would you ask a stupid thing like that? I shout. Because what? I exclaim. Suddenly, I'm interrupted by a swift knock at the door as my secretary appears. Mr. Smith, your 3 o'clock appointment is here, Sarah informs me. Thank you. Send them in, I tell her. Yes, sir, she answers and leaves immediately. Julia, I'll have an appointment coming in, so we'll finish this conversation later. I promise. Before hanging up and tossing the handset on the table, I exhale loudly. Woman! Seconds later, in walk Calvin Mount, Omar Harrison, and Kendall Miller. Gentlemen, take a seat, I say, pointing them to the chairs on the other side of the table. They do as I ask. So, I'm sure you heard the good news. Omar smiles, clasping his hands. You mean with the old man kicking the bucket? I ask. He nods yes with a devious grin, making it quite obvious he has something to do with the old guy's death. So what's going on with the church? Have they put someone new to run it? Yes, and guess who they put? Calvin says. Lay it on me. A 25-year-old by the name of Isabella John, who just finished Bible school a year ago, Calvin adds. A woman? Unlike the old man Davis, she will be a pushover. And now we can finally get the land the church is on. Kendall finally joins in. She better be. Because the three of you are not going to sell me false hopes, like you do to those foolish citizens in this country who voted you in as their government. And years later, you still haven't given them what you promised. I growl. You know, with you, it's not like that. Calvin tries to song a beat. It better not be. Because if you can't come through with this deal in 2 months, I'm canceling all contracts with you. And we both know it's not my pocket it will put a dent in. I snarl. They don't look happy at all. Look, it's not like we aren't trying. We sent 5 of our people over to talk to Davis, and they all came back with the same news. He wasn't going to move his church without a good explanation. For heaven's sake, 10 years ago, the old man asked the government at that time for a piece of land to build his church, and it was never given to him. Eventually, he saved his money and bought the land himself. So, of course, he won't sell or relocate his church just like that, Kendall explains. Look at me. Did I ask for a history of the dead old bat? I snapped. No, Omar utters beneath his breath. Exactly. We all know because of you parasites the country is like a sinking ship. And I have to come in like the savior to rescue it. So, unless you want the entire nation finding out about your secret accounts that have caused the state to be bankrupt and up to its elbows in debt, I suggest you get your act together and get me that land. I don't even care what you do to get it. Just do it. I'm giving you 2 months. Why don't we just tell Isabella why we want the land? Calvin suggests. How stupid can this moron really be? Sure, why not. Go tell her her church is sitting on an oil deposit that's worth several $1 million. And of course, she will happily give it up and settle for a few lots of land you so generously plan to give her. I can't help the sarcasm. We need to come up with a plan, Kendall says. No! You three need to come up with a foolproof plan. And I'll remind you again, you have got 2 months, gentlemen. 2 months. I repeat, holding up 2 fingers. We get it, Omar says angrily. I hope you do. Because if that mess hits the fan, I will destroy every one of you, whether you are with me or not. I slowly looked at each one with the threat hovering in the atmosphere. After lying back in my soft, therapeutic chair, my cell phone begins ringing off the hook. I raise my hand before them, signaling to say nothing further as I answer the call. Yes, Danica. Good evening, honey. I'm just calling to say I love the necklace. It's beautiful, she coos. I smile. That's because it deserves to be worn around the neck of a beautiful woman. She fills my ears with giggles. Oh, thank you, baby. You're welcome. Don't forget, be ready for 6:30. I remind her. Of course, baby. I'll be ready and waiting. With that, she hangs up. They are all looking at me, lost for words and completely uncomfortable. If they think I don't have every mistake of theirs on paper, backed up in a safe place for insurance, then they have got another thing coming. You guys thought of anything while I was on the phone? I ask, resting the phone back on the table. All I get are blank stares. These imbeciles.